Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're a return viewer too, hello, thank you so much for coming back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my garden egg stew recipe, and this is very easy and simple to make. I'll leave a list of the ingredients in the description box. You can go ahead and check it out. So over here I have my smoked salmon and some tomatoes that I've cut up, some sliced onions, and of course I went ahead and cooked my garden eggs. I didn't show the boring process of cutting up the garden eggs, but this is how it is looking on the fire, and I added in some Scotch bonnet pepper according to my taste. You can go ahead and do that as well. So over here, as you can see, I'm trying to check if my garden eggs are ready. So if you poke your knife through it and it goes right through it so easily, then of course your garden eggs are ready. To a pot, I added in some palm oil, and just a little advice: don't wait for the oil to be too hot before you add in your smoked salmon if you are using smoked salmon, because the oil will pop and it will splatter everywhere. So I went ahead and added in my smoked salmon, and I covered this up because I didn't want to burn myself. Please be careful when you are going through this process. And I covered this up and allowed it to fry for about a minute or 3 in the oil. A few minutes later, I came back and I added in some water. This is a little tip that I learned on my own from being burnt on the oil a couple of times. When you add the water to it, it reduces the heat in the food. So over here, I added too much water, but you can go ahead and add in a little bit of water. And I went in and added my onions. So as I was saying, be careful of the water you add to it so that you don't go through what I'm going through right now. But I'm going to let that sit aside and boil on the fire for some time. The water will evaporate. So I went ahead and I did a little multitasking. I went ahead and grinded my Scotch bonnet pepper, and I added in 2 medium-sized onions, and I grinded that up as well. And I went ahead and I added in my garden eggs. Yes, so after that I headed back to my stew, and as you can see, the water has evaporated very nicely from my stew, and I went ahead and added in my tomatoes. So as you can see, I was pressing on my tomatoes a little to make them a little softer, but naturally, because of the heat, the tomatoes shrivel up in the stew, so you don't have to worry about that. And I went ahead and cracked in an egg in the middle of my stew. This step is very optional. If you don't have an egg on hand, totally skip this part, but it's just for the aesthetics, you know. So I went ahead and I scrambled up my egg, and excuse the burnt bottom of my pot. This usually happens. That is reality for you. So I gave this also a stir, and I allowed it to cook for a few minutes, and I went in and added my garden eggs. So when you're making stews like this, you've already cooked the garden eggs and the pepper already, so nothing is too fresh at this point. So you just have to fry this up for a few minutes and it should be ready. You don't want to lose too many nutrients from the heat. So I went ahead and added in some more palm oil because I like palm oil, and my stew had absorbed all the oil I started with. So that's exactly what I did, and our stew was basically ready. So you can go ahead and serve this with anything of your choice. I served mine with some yams, and it was so delicious. But guys, look at this yam. It was so big. I just had to take a video of it. I feel like in the video it looks a little smaller, but in real life it was big. Look at this. So big. Bigger than my head. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, leave a comment in the comment section below. And until next time, love you guys so much. Bye.